Hello again, we are working with surds. So here simplify 5 square root 72 divided by 4 square root 2. So here idea is easy. Just let's write it like this: 5 over 4 times under the square root 72 dividing 2. This will give us 5 over 4 times square root of 36, because 36 times 2 is 2 times 6 is 12, 6, 7, 72. Now square root of 36 is 6, so 5 over 4 times 6, which is equal 30 over 4. Here, as we said before, square root a over divided b equals square a divided by square b. Also, don't forget, for the multiplication we'll do the same. A times b equals square root a times square root b. You can go from right hand side to the left hand side, and you can go from left hand side to the right hand side. That means you can rewrite this format in this format, or write this format in this format. Now question 10, also the same, simplifying also surds. Here we could rewrite it as 1 over 5 times under the square root, in case you have a highest common factor between the bottom and the top. Dividing 7, I think here we'll have equal 1 over 5 times under the square root. 8 dividing 7 is a 1, and 1 down with 14, 12. So we have 12, and the 12 is no more than 1 over 5 times square root of 4 times 3. Here we have a multiplication. You can distribute a root over a multiplication. So here we'll have 1 over 5 times square root 4 times square root 3, and this is here will give us here square root of 4 is 2. 2 times 1 over 5, it's 2 over 5 square root 3. Yeah, here some examples here. Here expanding, simplify, that means you have to expand this, this bracket. So you will multiply this by this, so square root of 11 times square root of 13, you will get square root of 11 times 13. So we have square root of 11 times 13 plus 8 square root 11. And here you can multiply 11 times 13 using calculator. Here you will find it out. 11 times 13 equal, under the square root, 143 plus 8 square root 11. What else here? Also we have here, we should, question 12, we should also expand it again. So 11 times 2, the square root of 11 times 2, square root of 11 times 5. Here we have to expand these brackets here. So idea here, simplify. We have brackets, that means they should ask, sometimes they will ask you to simplify, or sometimes they will say expand and simplify. So simplify, that means 5 times square root of 2 will have 5 square root 2. 5 times 4, which is 20, plus 20. Now we'll have square root 2 times square root 2 will give us 2, so plus 2. Square root of 2 times 4 will give us plus 4 square root 2. Don't forget that square root of a times square root of a, this will give us a, because we know this is a to the power of half times a to the power of half, which is equal a to the power 1 over half plus 1 over half, 1 over 2 plus 1 over 2. That means 1 over 1, which is a to the power of 1, which is equal to a. So here, once we multiplied square root of 2 times square root of 2, we got 2. So here we'll have 5 square root 2 plus 4 square root 2, this one here and this one here, these two terms will get 9 square root 2 because they are like terms, and here also they are like terms because they are just numbers. So 20 plus 2 is 22. Yeah, here is also the same, but here we have subtraction in between. We'll do the same. So this one times this one here will have 7. The square root of 7 times 3 minus 3 square root 7 minus 3 now, minus 3 times square root of 7 will, yes, here, so minus 3 times square root 7 minus 3 times square root 7 minus 3 times minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 9. So 7 plus 9, 16 minus 3 square root, oh sorry, here we have minus 3 square 7 and square root, yes, times 3 minus 3 again, minus 3 square root 7, then plus 9, minus 3 square, minus 3 times square root 7. Let's see here, yeah, so 7 plus 9 is 16, minus 3 root 7 minus 3 root 7 minus 6 root 7. This is also here same, but here is a plus and here is a minus, and you need some calculation here and here. So quickly we can do it. Okay, yalla. So here you can simplify it as 2 square root 5 minus 5 times square root 5 plus 2. Okay, or you can keep it as it is and work it like this. So square root 20 times square root 5, you will get under the square root 100. Square root 20 times 2 will get plus 2 square root 20. Now minus 5 times square root 5 will give you minus 5 square root 5, then minus 10, because here we have minus 5 times a plus 2 minus 10. Here we have square root of 100 is a 10, a plus 2 square 20 minus 5 square 5 minus 10. Minus 10 with plus 10 is 0. A leftover is here, but here you can simplify it again also. So 2 square root 4 times square root 5 minus 5 square root 5. Here is 2 times 2 is 4, so 4 square root 5 minus 5 square root 5, and this will give you minus square root 5. Yes, and you can simplify it from here and you will get the same results in here. So here direct, so 2 square root 5 times square root 5, you will get 10. Then you will get 2 square 5 times 2 plus 4 square root 5, then minus 5 square root 5 minus 10. This one here, minus 10 plus 10 is 0, leftover is this, so here minus square root 5. Yeah, actually here you have to multiply 2 square root 5 plus 3 by itself twice, so 2 square root 5 plus 3 times 2 square root 5 plus 3. We can, here is the same, this question here, 4 minus 3 square root 13 times itself, 2 times. Yeah, here, and this one is good question here. simplify. So here we want to simplify. So first of all, try to finish this. So here we have square root 2 x to the power of 5 dividing by, this one here is no more than 2 square root 2 over x to the power of 2. Now you can write it as square root 2 x to the power of 5 times x to the power of 2 under the square and 2 square root 2. This square root will be cancelled out with square root 2, and left over is no more than half of x to the power of 7. So x to the power of 7 over 2. What we did it here is, first of all, we split it out like square root 8 over square root of x to the power of 4, sorry. So here square root of 8 is 4 times 2. Square root of 4 is 2 times square root 2, which is, we have it here. And square root of 4, what we have it here is x to the power of 4 under the square root, and this is will give you under the square root x to the power of, sorry, let's rewrite it by this way, it's better than. So it's x to the power of 4 to the power of half. You are multiplying a square because here power to power will get x to the power of 2, and this is what we got it here. Then keep, change to multiplication, then flip. So you will get x to the power of 7 over x over 2. This one here same, this one here same. We can do the same. So here it's a multiplication, so direct. Here we have 11 square root of 11 x to the power of 4 times x to the power of 8. Half of 8 is 4, so x to the power of 4 dividing by square root of 44. It's 44 is 4 times 11, so it's 2 square root of 11. Here it's 4 times 11 under the square root, so we have square root 4 times square root 11, and square root of 4 is 2. So square root of 11 cancelled out with square root of 11, so here x to the power of 8 over 2. Thank you very much all.